Hello! We're here. It's round 5. I'm joined by You're Not Michael.
I am Graham.
Your name is not currently 3-1 also, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not go quite that well. I went 1-3 instead.
I had it backwards. Currently 1-3 drop. I should put that in there, hey?
Yeah, Graham King 1-3 drop.
Round 5, the final round of Swiss. Unfortunately, we've had some intentional draws, so we're not covering a match for a win and in.
Is for seeding in the top 8.
That's right, we're covering the 1 and 2 seeds. They're both on 10 points, and they're battling to see who has top of the Swiss.
So on one side of the table, which I believe is the right-hand side, we have Isaac Egan, who is playing Delver. And on the left-hand side, we have Alistair, who is playing Yorian D&T.
Absolutely. We had Alistair on stream before. It was a lovely game. And then we actually got him in the booth for an interview to talk about some of the cool cards that are in the deck and that sort of thing. We haven't had Isaac on stream today, though. Is he on Rug?
He is on Rug. I believe he has taken Jack's Exact 75.
Right on. I mean,
taking a recommendation from a format professional.
It's not the worst advice to follow, you know. Alright, here we are. We're at the table. And we've got a game going already.
We've got a game. We've got a turn 1 viable. That's where you want to be.
And then over on Isaac's side, we've got a Tropical Island, which is not going to cast that Lightning Bolt in his hand.
No, but...
Vial up to 1. Urian D&T.
Yeah, I'm not... There's a lot of come into play effects that you're getting off the card, but it's not really working the same way it is in the snow-based decks, where you're getting back a bunch of cantrips and just late game casting it and getting 5 additional cards in hand off the Astrolades and the Iceman Codals.
Yeah, no, it's definitely... It's setting up more of this, because it's got the aggressive core behind it. It's just setting up getting more Flicker Wisps and more Charming Princes and Recruiter of the Guard triggers and just getting more offensive material. Yeah, rather than getting these you know, stopping what your opponent's doing with Icefang Coatls and Arkham's Astrolabes, you're just getting more 3-1s.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how this matchup plays out anymore. I know that previously Death and Taxes could basically manage to tax your opponent out of the game for the most part, across Thalia and Spirited's Labyrinth and that kind of card. Obviously, they've got a few new tools around Oko, which are a little bit harder for them to be battling with.
Absolutely. But Alistair, having access to 80 cards, it's really something. And you'll see he's got the full 4 Skyclave Apparition to deal with these 3 drops.
Yeah, there we go.
And we see the turn 2, so it was end of turn 1 Brainstorm, turn 2 Double Delver.
So I think those are almost definitely going to be flipping this turn, which is...
I would be quite surprised if they didn't. And that's going to be a hell of a clock.
Yes, it is.
Do I need anything? No, I'm good, thanks. I mean, a foot rub? No, yeah, all right.
If you won't rub my feet, I won't rub yours.
Fair enough then.
Tell me I'm better.
We're all professional here.
Tell me I'm better than Catghost.
We're all professionals here. Alistair's having a think. It's his turn 3?
Yeah, so what are you thinking about here? Do you just want to look at leaving the vial on 2? Or no, he has left the vial on 2. There we go. So that's a choice. Oh no, I just can't count. No, that's right. It should be on 2.
I mean, with D&T, it lives either on 2 or 3, basically.
Yeah, so he chooses to not take any action against this double Delver flip.
Yeah.
And puts a Yorian in his hand instead. That's a 6 drop, isn't it?
5 for Yorion.
Even with flying, I think I'm a little bit scared about that for my opponent.
Yeah,
They've got days among other things in their deck.
It's not going to be here soon, and it's very possible that...
Can that target your opponent's creatures?
No, it's very possible that Alistair won't be here when it comes down, but... You know, it's a 4/5. It blocks a Delver like a champ. And we see here a Dreadhorde Arcanist coming down and a main phase fetch. That's an interesting decision, but okay. I mean, I guess perhaps there's a ponder.
We'll see what it's anyways.
Isaac taps to the left. Can we get a judge call on that? I'll do my best. I mean, you know, if I was to flip this stream upside down, then everything would be tapping to be vertical. So, you know.
We could just mirror it and make it perfect for everyone.
We could. I can't, unfortunately, mirror half of my stream.
Okay, so we go for the bolt on the Stoneforge before the Batterskull can start causing problems. And we've got 9 damage coming in their next turn with the bolt off the Arcanist.
Yeah, it hits for 1 as well.
Yeah, okay, there we go. It's got things that it can do.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, puts him down to 4. I'd be quite scared if I was in Alistair's position.
So I guess, you know, it's a weird one, but I think the draw that he would be hoping for here would be his Miser's Charming Prince.
Maybe like Flicker Wisp. Well, Charming Prince, Flicker Wisp all do the same thing of flipping the Delvers over. So I can see if you violate a Flicker Wisp, flip over a Delver, block the other one. You have to do it after the Dreadhorde trigger so that the bolt doesn't do anything nasty, but you basically reset the board to just Arcanus, which...
Sure, and an unflipped Delver, but there is still a Brainstorm in Isaac's hand.
Yeah.
There was the turn 1 Brainstorm, and then the Delver's actually transformed with a Brainstorm revealed. So, you know, even if you reset the Delver, it's going to come back down anyway.
Yeah.
I can actually see another Bolt in Isaac's hand as well. So this is not looking good for our hero, if our hero happens to be
that's
Alistair.
a Caracas. It's a little bit shiny, but...
That is a Caracas, you're right. Well, I mean, look, if there's a deck that has a card to get out of it, it's 80 card Death and Taxes.
Okay.
You know, 80 cards means that Alistair's playing a lot of weird cards.
I think it just means that, not necessarily weird cards, it just means the things that might be one of might be 2 or 3 odds, and
Yeah, sure.
you've got the full toolbox available instead of just
Full
part
toolbox. We saw before a Remorseful Cleric as part of the toolbox. Not good here, don't get me wrong, but, you know, good as an option for the deck to have. Tapping 3 lands is definitely thinking about something.
What are we doing?
So Keto Thalia,
We go
Heretic
Thalia,
Cathar.
Heretic Cathar. First strike, 3/2. Things your opponents come into play tapped unless they're basics.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, when I spoke to him in between rounds, I asked him what his favourite sort of tech card in the deck was, and this was his choice for his favourite, you know, offbeat card that he's playing.
This does mean that the bolt's going at the Thalia instead.
Well and truly.
And
The
then
Caracas got
Caracas to the back to hand. This is fine.
And then
And then are we vialing it back in? It just kills the Arcanus, but
I mean, that's
think it's
fine. You
fine.
don't want to leave the Arcanus there.
I think it's getting
Oh!
bolted. And
Oh,
goes for the
cheeky!
Flicker Wisp.
And you saw Isaac instinctively reach for the volcanic island there. A really big tell from Isaac. You know, we knew.
I think you still want to go for the same play here anyway.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
knew with Caster Vision that there was
Goes
a
for the
lightning
bolt. Has Beta Bolt and I think that's 10th edition.
M10.
Ugly. Just ugly. Poor choices from Isaac.
Yeah, look, if Isaac didn't fire off the bolt here, and, you know, believe me, I believe it's correct. But if he didn't fire it off there, you know, Alistair knows in his heart of hearts that there's a bolt there. Absolutely, you know. The very subtle, just reaching for the volcanic is a big tell. And Isaac's pretty good. Isaac doesn't tend to have tells like this. Isaac's a very established player. You know, he's been playing Magic since, I want to say before I was born, but I was born before Magic was, so, you know, that's a little bit difficult. Oko? Aether Vial is
Aether
now
Vial is now an elk.
an Elka Vial.
Yeah,
Alright.
that'll definitely slow something down.
Yeah, definitely. So we're untapping. That elk does still have 3 charge counters on it.
Yes.
That's very unlikely to be relevant, but it is worth noting that there is 3 charge counters on that Elka Vial. And, you know, now Alistair's really in the same position as he was last turn, except there's also an Ochre. The Thalia in hand has sort of lost its appeal.
Like, it's not exactly the same. Like, we don't necessarily know that Delver's flipping, but
Sure.
it's still something to be scared of, and there is still a bolt in his graveyard.
Yeah, it's... And, you know, the Thalia that he played before is less appealing here because A, you can't protect it with Caracas, and B... Oh, you can't protect it and replay it with Caracas, and B, you've already got
Well,
3/3.
you can replay it, it's just it's not the nice way to replay it.
Exactly, yeah. You don't have the, you know, mid-combat flicker. The Elk getting in there, and here we see... Oh!
The static might just be face
5
mask.
mana. Urian coming down. Can
We
we
got there.
retrieve our Aether Vial? Cheeky. Is my microphone coming unplugged? I mean, I hope not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it might be masks distorting sound, but if it's proper static, then you might need to have a check.
Let me check out my monitoring and see what it sounds like to me.
Testing, 1, 2.
Getting some fun static.
No, I won't. I'll blink off. Okay.
In response to this trigger.
Yep.
Put these two back. We'll do this force negation. Enjoy this return.
Well, I've turned the mic back on. Let me know if there's still static. I couldn't find it in my feedback at all.
We are indeed both on the same mic.
Yes, sir, we are. It's a new fun kind of static now.
Can you explain it further?
What does it taste like?
Anyway, back to the match. Isaac brainstormed. Alistair played some things. I wasn't quite paying attention to how the Yorian died, but I assume it was a Delver and a... No, the Delvers are still there.
Sorry, you'll have to bear with us while we work through these technical problems.
Whatever it is, you've made the static louder. We're cordoned off from the rest of the location behind a curtain, so there shouldn't be any breezes coming through.
I'll grab all these.
Well, I mean, hopefully that's fixed it. I don't know exactly what, but I could definitely hear what you all were talking about, and then I couldn't hear it. So I'm the greatest tech genius in the world.
Okay, we have apparently fixed it. That's great. And now we will never touch anything ever again. So I put it in the chat, but Isaac did win game 1.
I'm glad someone was paying attention.
They've done some sideboarding, and now who knows what's happening.
It's still there, much quieter. I know of a problem that would cause that. it shouldn't be enough to cause a big issue. But it's something that I'll work on over the next while. But hey, thanks for the feedback. Doing it live, sometimes there's tech issues. You should have seen this morning. Oh man, having to run around. Do you know if you buy a new computer and it doesn't have a Wi-Fi card, you can't connect to the Wi-Fi?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird concept. Crosstalk possibly? No, we've only got one microphone. We're sharing the one microphone. Good idea though.
Maze is a
good
giant
suggestion.
Faraday cage full of cardboard.
It is true. Maze is a giant Faraday cage. That was one of the problems we had this morning. Was trying to network. Basically, the internet connection in the building is not worth talking about, and the 4G in this room is not worth talking about. So,
Have you considered the
what's
giant
your-
Ethernet cable?
A giant Ethernet cable? No, their wide internet connection is. Oof.
Okay.
But it's okay. We're back.
We have managed to draw 7 new cards. We've got a game 2 happening.
You want to go check mine?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, okay.
That should fix that echo for you.
Flame vial.
I got you guys. Don't worry. Don't worry.
And Alistair apparently doesn't want to play a different game to last time because he is leading off on turn 1 Vial.
You guys have, Graham's got the game covered. I've got the fixing the echo covered. You know how it be. You see me fiddling with buttons and knobs? Where's the camera in here?
It's right in front of us. Sometimes it's a face cam.
Oh.
Shows our pretty little faces.
Alright, so,
And you need explosives for 1 from Isaac.
we've got a question from chat asking if any echo cards are playable in Legacy. I have one right here on the screen for you.
I'm not sure that one's playable, but yes, what Jared said, Mog War Marshal has definitely seen play. Whether you pay the echo cost is another story.
Sure.
And also the Goblin Witch bounces thing, Sting Scourger.
Oh, Sting Scourger. So good. Less
Don't
good
think
now.
I've ever seen the echo cost paid, but
It's a rare day.
it definitely does have echo cost on it. So, Wasteland on Alistair's side, keeping Isaac back in the Stoneland, Stone Age even.
That's true.
Lyle goes to 2.
How often does Mog War Marshal get echoed? Quite a lot, actually. Definitely. What are you peeping at, Gaffer Boy? You know you can watch the game clearer out there.
But there's people out there.
Isaac with a very fancy foil full art Force of Will, and other words that start with F. Fancy foil full art Force of Will doing something to Alistair's day.
Charming Prince?
Okay, we've got the Palace Jailer. I think
That's a charming prince, good sir.
that is a charming because that goes for the scry option there over resetting the engineered explosives to 0, which is
Ooh, I don't know
an
if
interesting choice.
I don't know if Charming Prince can target your opponent's things.
Oh, can't it? Well, that would be why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, only a creature you own.
Okay, so that's why it doesn't cost 3 and isn't called Flicker Wisp.
This is the quarterfinal. No, sorry, this is the last round of the Swiss, and we are not. This is not a bubble game. This is playing for first in the Swiss. The bubble games all decided they were going to draw instead. But Isaac is here to play for first place in the Swiss.
Okay, what was that card which just came down?
That one is a Sanctum Prelate. You might have heard of it.
I have, I just don't know that particular art.
It's the one and only artwork. It's just really cool in foil.
Cool.
Sanctum Prelate here. It's on 1. We're stopping any 1 CMC spells from the opponent.
Only the non-creature ones, you can still play a Delver, but
Very true, very true.
not a big fan of Lightning Bolt, Brainstorm, Ponder, or Preordained.
Yeah, and it really does a great job of shutting down Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Dreadhorde Arcanist just doesn't care. It doesn't do anything unless you make the Dreadhorde Arcanist bigger. Give that boy a sword, and then he can cast some spells. I want to do that.
I think seeing a sword in a Rug Delver would definitely surprise me.
Yes, definitely. Now here's a cool thing here, right? Chalice of the Void. You can still cast your 1-drops to get him countered by the Chalice, and then Tarmogoyf grows.
This is true.
Sanctum Prelate, not so lucky. Sanctum Prelate doesn't say it counters the spell, it just full on stops you putting that spell on the stack. And of course we've got the moment where both players are shuffling. You know, Paper Magic, you sort of try to shuffle on your own time while your opponent's busy doing their thing. But sometimes you're both caught shuffling, and what can you do? A Violed-in Recruiter of the Guard, that was revealing a Flicker Wisp at end of turn.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep the value train running. You know, Flicker Wisp at the base level, it can target the Recruiter of the Guard and go get another one.
How many Recruiter of the Guards do you need to win a game of Magic?
Well, I mean, there's 80 cards in the deck.
So at least one.
So with that Tarmogoyf, maybe Recruiter could go and get this Remorseful Cleric that we saw from Alistair in a previous game. Ask the players to not shuffle. Great thinking. Why didn't I think of that?
So I think it's interesting that the Sanctum Prelate on one is also shutting down the Swords to Plowshares, which is, I would say, his main way of dealing with Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I mean, Goyf is a big dog. But I do have to just say, you know, Remorseful Cleric is a pretty good dog as well.
Now, my understanding is that none of those are dogs, only Rest in Peace is a dog from the recent... I can't remember what
Shoutouts to
dog.
Eldrazi Mimi playing Dog Through Time tomorrow. The dog artwork of Dig Through Time.
Yes.
But yeah, look, maybe we'll see the Recruiter go and fetch up the Remorseful Cleric at some point in this game. It's, you know, it's a silver bullet. It's not the greatest one, but it's something that can be done.
Where you want to be here.
Exiling the Charming Prince, end step, Charming Prince coming back, exiling the Recruiter. So that'll come back in the next end step. So Alistair deciding to make the decision of what to tutor later.
So you're a big fan of spinning wheels, I hear.
Oh yeah. You know, instead of just straight up flickering the Recruiter now, it's Alistair deciding we're going to decide later.
We're finally getting rid of the vial.
Yeah, Port
So-
taking it out. So now I guess the Remorseful Cleric could only shrink Goyf down to a 3/4 anyway, which is still bigger than
I mean,
anything in the deck.
considering where we are, I think you just get the mum here and you just... Your opponent can't deal with it and you just
Sure.
ride it to some form of victory.
Yeah, Mother of Runes or Giver. You know, 80 cards, you get to play more than 4 Mother of Runes. Other option here could be something like Stoneforge Mystic.
I can see that. There is a Sword of Feast and Famine in Alistair's deck, I believe.
In the sideboard.
In the
Could
sideboard,
very
there
well
we go.
be in the main now. There was a sort of Fire and Ice as well. There's the Stoneforge coming out. Mother's a 1-drop. Yeah, Prelate only stops non-creature, I want to say.
Sanctum Prelate does indeed only stop 1-drop creatures.
Is it charge counters as well? No, it just chooses... It doesn't even have
Yeah,
consistency.
why can't someone just get rid of that dice off Sanctum Prelate? It's clearly not meant to be there. But we do like it there just to be able to keep track of it.
How good's Paper Magic, hey? Love it to bits. This game sort of slowed down a lot when a Tarmogoyf was played. It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, so Tarmogoyf reads Moat, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Flicker Wisp has flying, so moat this. You're casual.
Yep, and there we see Tarmogoyf acting as Moat.
Get a piece of paper that says 1, no thanks. And there's the Stoneforge. What are we getting? Is it Jitte? Is it Sword of Fire and
I
Ice?
don't think it's Jitte. It might be Sword of Fire and Ice. It might be Sword of Feast and Famine.
I agree
Don't
that it's
think
not
it's
Jitte.
Batterskull.
I agree that it's not Jitte, nor is it...
Actually, Batterskull's not the worst here. You can put it on your Flicker Wisp and just go all day.
Sure, I mean, you need a 5th land for that, but definitely doable.
No, it goes for the Swordify.
And at this point in time, we have to start looking at what will happen if Urion comes down.
Sword of
You know.
Vigilance and Lifelink. That is indeed what Batterskull says.
I mean, you know, after that Wasteland, Alistair's back down to 3 lands here, so Urion's it's still a couple of turns away, but it is something that needs to be on the radar with a Flicker Wisp, with a Charming Prince, with a Recruiter of the Guard, and a 4/5 flyer. Holy... Ooh.
Give me my fucking tropical.
Isaac's holding a bunch of good cards, but no lands. And with that Port keeping him off the tropical island in his main phase, there's really just not much to be done.
The prelay doesn't help him with it either.
Yeah, oh, well, I mean, I guess that makes sense, hey? We see Mother of Runes, not tutored for, just naturally drawn.
And Isaac has had enough and decides to pack it up.
Yeah, packs it up in response to the upkeep port.
Now, we can't really go over the side porting since that apparently happened last round.
Very true. The good news is for the top 8, we're going to have paper deck lists, or digital deck. We're going to have deck lists. We're going to have access to the deck lists. We're going to know what these people are playing, what they're working with. Show me what you're working with.
Paper deck lists have become a thing of the past recently.
Paper Magic was a thing of the past until December.
This is true.
And here we are. Hey, hope you all had a good Christmas, if that's your thing, or a good December, if that's your thing. You know, it's a time of relaxing and playing some hella good Legacy. And if Legacy's not your jam, we'll be back tomorrow. Moxing Day Tabernacle Games held at Maze of Fitzroy. Tomorrow we've got the 7 Point Highlander event, and then on Monday we've got the Modern event. So lots of camera time this weekend. Graham, are you playing tomorrow?
I am playing tomorrow.
In this 7 Point Highlander event? What are you playing?
I am playing
Or is that a secret?
a rug mid-range sneak attack deck.
Okay.
It appears to beat up on control and lose to everything else, so we'll see how badly I lose because of that.
Alright, well let's ask the other person in the room. Michael Billinghurst, what are you playing tomorrow at the Highlander event?
That's a good question.
A good question. Is
Someone
it
excited.
control that's going to get beaten up on by Rug Sneak and Show?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Good answer.
Yeah, there's a good chance that's definitely.
Does your control deck beat the Thoracle decks that I've heard may be showing up in droves?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have lots of discussions about Thoracle tomorrow, I'm sure.
Smart money's on Esper something.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, that is what Discord handle, you never know.
Michael Billinghurst will be on Esper something with some dirty sleeves.
There's good money on that.
But I mean, we don't wager on Magic tournaments. That's against the tournament policy. I don't condone wagering on Magic tournaments. Definitely not.
I don't condone wagering with me on what I'm going to play.
Alright, players are drawing their opening hands here. Game 3 for the top of the Swiss. Is this where Isaac extends the hand and offers a draw?
Look, probably not. I think
I mean, fair enough.
he'll take his fair beats if he loses, because he's usually the person to offer this.
And Isaac not happy with the 7, putting it back and grabbing a 6. Now, will Isaac extend the hand and ask for a draw?
You can't see me stroking my beard to think, so this makes for excellent coverage commentary here. But let's go with no.
Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. You guys wagering in the chat?
Wagering using dollary dues.
Ah, dollary dues.
That a deck with 7 points will win tomorrow.
I've
Look
seen-
out when you see the 6 point Grixis list show up.
You should see the 5-point burn. Yeah,
5
when-
point burn.
When they
Kills me a lot.
depointed Skull Clamp and they depointed Wheel.
I mean, the best use of 7 points in your burn deck is Lotus Mox.
Some people don't have $10,000 for a mono red deck.
No. What do they think this is? A budget format?
Isaac, looking at his 6, his second 7, if you will. And Alistair seemed to be happy with his 7. Will there be any pre-game actions? No,
Okay,
we're
looks
off
like
to the
we're
races.
sorted out.
I see double days in Isaac's hand here.
Yeah, Days is an interesting one. I think I'm usually a fan of taking Days out versus Death and Taxes, leaving in maybe 2 Forcibles. It's too fair, and usually you want the forces out, but Vile is just so backbreaking that you need something to deal with it.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you do have something to deal with it in way of Oko, but by that time, you know, some damage has been done with Rashardan ports to worry about and Wastelands to worry about. You know, the typical Death and Taxes player can feasibly just keep you off Oko until you're dead between Thalia Port and Wasteland.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's quite a lot of basics to slow you down, though.
Here we go. Dreadhorde Arcanist, nothing in the graveyard.
This
Just
is
a
how we like to
1/3.
play it. Can see a brainstorm, I think, in Isaac's hand.
We have seen a lot of Dreadhorde Arcanist today.
We've seen a lot of Velvet today.
It's really a defining card of this format. And we see a Swords to Plowshares coming out straight away in answer to that. In answer to the Dreadhorde Arcanist, and Isaac saying, no, I'll have none of that. Pay one more.
So let's see if we can get the double days off here.
Yeah, go all the way back to 1 mana. Oh, well, we can't
for
daze with
wasteland.
that one. Now hit him with the plow. Oh, the path!
Goes for path through exile.
Oh, we were talking about this in the room before. Typically, 4 swords main, 2 paths in the sideboard for Death and Taxes. When you're playing 80 cards, you've got to move some of them to the main, mate. Especially if you want to still draw. If you have 4 swords in your deck, so you draw one of them every X games or X turns, and you add another 30% to your deck, you need to add, more copies of Swords to Plowshares as well.
This is true.
Got to move something to the main to make room for Yorion. That's right. I'm pretty keen for Time Spiral Remastered. Let's be real here. We see the Trop coming back down. So Isaac had the choice of which land to daze back, the Trop or the Volcanic. Went with the Trop.
It's interesting that he chose to shuffle there as well.
Is that one getting dazed as well?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna float mana daze and then cast the brainstorm that we have here.
Makes sense. And I think Isaac... excuse me. I don't think Isaac has a second land, although he just drew 2 more, so let's take that all back. Isaac has plenty of lands.
And puts them both back on top of his library.
So, it's strange, because this is what, like, turn
This is like turn 5 or 6.
4? There was 2 dazes and a wasteland? It's turn 4 and Isaac has 1 land in play?
That sounds like a Delver deck to me.
Another Thalia. You can't daze this one. I'll pay the 1. Classic blue decks. Shoutouts to Ristic Study.
A well-known legacy staple. Since 1999.
Alright, we're going to have to call a judge.
Yeah, we need a judge over there.
Yeah,
Stop
Isaac,
the match.
Isaac playing a filthy artwork brainstorm.
He's also playing it through a Thalia.
Oh, we do actually need a judge there then. The disembodied laptop would like to talk to you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, hello?
Hello, you can hear me. There's a Thalia in play. You can't play a brainstorm.
No, he's playing it in response to the cast.
In response! Alright, as you were then!
Oh, maybe not.
This is in response. We're good. Come back. We're not very good at paying attention to the board state. We apologise. Fortunately, chat is on top of it.
Yeah, only 2 people in chat and the players at the table know what's going on, They don't pay me to know how to play Magic.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not
I mean, they do, but only after you've been called to the table to judge.
I'm a great Magic player. So, I mean, look, Isaac's still, he's really paying the price for the dazes here. Daze is a very powerful tool, but when your opponent, after you've dazed, when your opponent gets through with the Thalia, the additional cost, or the alternate cost of bouncing islands really starts to add up, Instead of paying 2 mana, you're paying, you're paying 1 mana every
Mic's still
single...
on.
The mic's not still on, don't worry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh,
We're all professionals here.
okay.
Are you confused?
I'm okay.
We're quite confused, but we're fine.
Have you speak to him?
Alright, Isaac, he's decided on the brainstorm. The Thalia resolves. He did have a force.
Force doesn't work very well with Thalia in play.
I mean, against the Thalia. He elected not to force the Thalia.
Do you have a second blue card? There looks like there might be a invocation in there, but I can't read it because it's an invocation. And finally we get the vial.
The 2 mana vial. Looks like there could be force in hand.
It's either force or force days, I'm not sure.
I mean, look, if it's force days, you're firing off that days again here.
Goes for the force pitches, whatever that second card is. I think it is the. I think it's the new full art force.
Whatever it is, it's gone now.
There's the big boy.
And after all is said and done,
We've got a Tarmogoyf to deal with Thalia.
there's a Tarmogoyf. Battle of the 2-drops. Shoutouts to white magic cards here.
That's a good Bimo breaker.
Yeah, Mother of Rune's a good one here. Can we see a forked bolt? That'd be a spicy meatball here. Well, let's find out how big that Goyf is. We've got artifact, land, creature,
Instant.
instant, probably a sorcery if there's a ponder somewhere. Doesn't look like
I've
there's a
seen
ponder.
ponder. Yeah, it's a 4/5.
Okay, all right.
Goes down to 16 on the other side.
16 apiece. Good old green moat. That's it. That's it. Isaac really, this is the power of Tarmogoyf. It's not that it's really good on turn 2. It's that it's really good on turn 5 and turn 6.
That is a lot of
he
land
is
on Isaac's side.
Very flooded over there. He's still holding a wasteland, and normally that's, the method of dealing with it. But I don't like playing the second fetch there. I like holding it for brainstorm.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the fact that you're playing more 3-drops in this deck now, like you've got the Yoko, means that it's a little bit different.
True, very true. Yeah, I guess, Thalia as
And
well.
there we go, we found a Delta.
Alright, so perhaps, is Mother of Runes going to look to push some damage through here?
I don't think you really can.
Yeah, getting only 2 damage through doesn't
Okay,
seem worth
goes
it.
for the Apparition.
Yeah, Skyclave Apparition. This is, a standard card, a recent addition to standard, and
I think most new additions to Standard are also additions to Legacy from what I've heard.
most of them, yeah. Unless they, reprint a card like Dig Through Time. But Skyclave Apparition, quite a good one. Just cleanly answering this Goyf here. As we said before in the Legacy matchup, it's the same relative to Beast Within that Thought Not Seer is to Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Or to Vendilion Click, I suppose, which is a very strange comparison, but here we are. Spell Snare revealed off the top, and Isaac deciding that wasn't what he was here for. No Spell Snare here, shuffle that away.
Still flip him over.
That's right, yeah, so this is a 3-2 in the air.
No flyers on Alistair's side, but he doesn't really have anything to back it up with. And Wasteland on the Wasteland.
Wasteland? Alright, because you can't Wasteland to Plains. See, I'm good. I'm good at this.
Yeah, we got there.
Yeah.
He has been holding that in his hand for quite a while now.
Yeah, this isn't a race that Isaac wins, but you can't opt out of this race, If you don't race, then the Thalia is just going to keep poking. Honestly, like, even if you don't attack, I think Alistair's still attacking with the team anyway. Down to 7. Time is running out. There's another one of those completely blue-faced cards. It looks like a full art cryptic command, but it's definitely not.
It's a ponder.
Well, that's a ponder. That's a fishy ponder. And that's another fishy ponder. And a bolt. I think. Tomorrow, yeah, there's going to be some hull breaches tomorrow. There's going to be some hull breaches and some opposition agents. Oh boy. Isaac really having to have a think on this one. This is, there's not many turns left in this game.
Bolt isn't really doing a lot here either.
Bolt's
As long as
fine.
he's got the mum down on the table, like, you need the double removal spell to deal with anything.
What colour is the illusion from Skyclave? I believe it's blue, right?
An XX blue illusion creature token.
That's relevant. The fact that the illusion shares a colour with the Delver is pretty interesting with regards to the Mother of Runes. Can the Mother of Runes push through damage?
I mean, it just needs to give whatever is getting blocked protection from Delver.
Yeah, so, the thought here would be, bolt the Skyclave, get a 2-2, double block the Thalia, but it's not so lucky. I guess Mother of Runes stops the double block as well. Never mind. Man, Mother of Runes is good. And Alistair's still sitting on, what,
Two
like
lands?
4 cards in hand?
I would not be surprised if there's quite a few 3-drops hidden in his hand somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. That does look like 5 cards in hand there,
Being,
after the draw step.
doing quite well considering that he is screwed on mana a little bit.
As long as we see 4-color Omnath tomorrow, I'll see what I can get in there for you, you know? I don't have any control over what people play, but I have control over what we put in front of the camera.
I have it on good authority that one Isaac Egan will be on a 4-color Omnith pod.
Ooh, spoilers. A second Mother of Runes. Now there's 2 of them. This is getting out of hand. And I tell you what, have you ever seen a better board state for a Plague Engineer?
I mean, Plague Engineer is quite good when you're not playing Rug in your colours.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But my point still stands. That'd be a sick...
Skyclave Apparition is not a human.
Yeah, that's fine. It trades. You get a 2/2 out of it.
So your Plague Engineer becomes a 3-for-2, I think.
I'm really annoyed that the Plague Engineer happened. Not because I think it's imbalanced, but because I really like Engineered Plague, okay? I played a lot of Engineered Plague. I played it in Legacy, I played it in Highlander, I played it in Vintage.
I played it in quite a few formats.
Um,
I opted for can't remember the name of the card. All tokens get -2/-2 in Vintage instead.
Not Illness in the Ranks, the next one up.
Virulent Plague.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, good against Dredge, as well as Oath, of course.
Engineered Plague indeed does not get bolted.
It's true.
It is the preferred card when you're playing Pox, because then you can't Pox your or smallpox your Engineered Plague out of existence.
Very true, very true. So, what has Isaac got here? Paying 2 for the bolt because of the Thalia, that makes sense. And just going the end of turn bolt on the Mother of Runes.
Trying to get it tapped down.
Yeah. Hoping for a good one here. What you got, Isaac? What do we got?
Pyroclasm.
Ooh!
Tarmogoyf instead.
That's a good one. So
An okay one.
he could push through damage here with the double of Mother of Runes activation.
I mean,
Do you want to, though? That looks
You
like
do?
a planes that Alistair's drawn there.
I think I would be fine to double mum on Thalia to double mum again. Or even, yeah, I think attacking with both. Then
Sure.
attacking with both, giving Thalia protection from both, and then you get a flyer next turn.
That's fair, that's fair.
Goes
Flicker
for
Wisp.
Flicker Wisp. I think that just gets there then. You give both things protection from blue, attack for lethal. See whether he has a bolt. He does not.
That's
That
it.
is match.
That's the end of the game. So once again, that wasn't for the win and in. We are still going to see Isaac in the top 8 unless some weird stuff happens. But that makes Alistair top of the Swiss.
Very impressive.
I've made a habit today of inviting the winner in to come chat about their deck. But it's going to be difficult because we already had Alistair in. So,
We could talk about a few points in the match, but
yeah.
definitely your choice what you want to do.
yeah, that was...
Do we know anyone who we think has made the top 8 cut who might be able to chat about their deck in the meantime?
Look, I can always head out and walk around the room and find somebody. But Graham, thanks for joining me for round 5. We might see you sometime in the finals in the commentary booth. We're going to go see what we can find for a mid-round feature, and we will be back very soon. See you in a sec. Once I hit the button, because right now everyone's just looking at me.